fans, welcome to Arts and Crafts. Today I'm just doing a quick and easy tutorial on how I turn this bucket hat into the froggy hat of our dreams. I already have the hat ready. I have a video where I go in depth making this and I will link that in my bio. Once you have the bucket hat ready, we are going to jump right into creating this hat and we will start with the materials needed. You are first going to need white and black yarn for obviously the inner part of the eyes. You're then going to need your outer yarn color. For me, we are doing green. Your chosen hook, I like to go with 1 millimeter smaller than what my yarn asks for, as I find it creates a tighter look. So my yarn asks for a 5 and I will be using a 4. Besides that, we will need some scissors and some kind of needle to sew in your ends. And that is everything we need, and we will jump right into it. So to begin, I'm going to take my black yarn and we're going to start with a slip knot. So that's over both of these fingers like so, holding it with my thumb on the bottom. I go through the first yarn, grab the second yarn past the first one, remove your fingers, grabbing both yarns out and pulling them like so. We are now going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you are going to slip stitch back into that very first stitch at the beginning. So to slip stitch, you just go through that first yarn, pull that yarn back through, and then back through that second loop as well, creating this little nub. We are now going to chain 2, 1, 2, and do 10 double crochets into the center of our little nub. So to do that, you go over, through the middle of this little thing, like so, yarn over again, and pull it back through. You should now have 3 loops on your yarn. Yarn over and pull 2 of them. Yarn over and pull the last 2. That is 1 double crochet, so we need 9 more. Again, over. You can see now your nub should have a little circle in the middle, so we're gonna go over, back through that center, yarn over the 3, yarn over 2, yarn over 2. 8 more. And 10 for the last one. 1, 2. So now we have created a little circle. We are going to slip stitch back into the second chain in our loop. 1, 2, through the chain, grab, and pull through both. We have successfully created the inner eye. Now we are going to be swapping over to white. There are a couple ways to do this. I do it an easy way. It doesn't always look the best, but for this, since we only need one side, it's going to work. So I personally will just cut the string I'm working on. Grab the next color that is needed. We're going to be moving on to white. And then I'm just going to simply attach the white at the base of where we left off with the black. This can be a little finicky. There are different ways to attach yarn. This is just what I find works for me. Like so, I have just attached that yarn to the yarn we were using. I am now going to cut off the ends of both of these. And as you can see, we have changed the color, so it is now white from the black. We are now going to chain 1, like so. Now we are going to do 2 single crochets into every chain around this circle. Single crochet is super easy. We just go into the next chain, yarn over both. Another one into that same chain, all the way around the circle into the next, yarn over 1, into the same, yarn over 2. And we're just gonna go all the way around the circle, doing 2 single crochets into every stitch. Coming up to our last chain, we're going to do 2 single crochets into that. And then we are going to slip stitch back into that second loop. As you can see, we are starting to create an eyeball. Now we are going to do the exact same thing with green yarn. So cut off some of this excess white that we are done with. Grabbing our outer eye color, we are going to do the exact same thing and just tie it on to the white close to the base of where we are working. like so. And then just cutting the excess two ends of the strings off, green and white. And now you can see that our color has swapped over to green. To begin the last row, we are going to chain 1. We are now going to be rotating 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets all the way around. So our first stitch is 1 single crochet. We just learned how to do that. There's 1. In the next chain, right here, we do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2. 1 in the next one. And then 2. And then 1. All the way around. Doing 2 single crochets into that last one. Then we are going to slip stitch back into the second chain of the first line, like so. And look at that! We have 1 eyeball. So what you're gonna wanna do is cut off this string, but you're gonna want to leave a good amount of excess string to tie it off. So I like to just kind of go around a couple times. Perfect. And we'll cut it off here. I just like to pull out where that loop was coming from and then take all this yarn, pull it through. So she's not going nowhere, you know? And then for this string that started with the black, I just like to cut it off. That's gonna go in the middle. We're not even gonna see her. Okay, and for this next part, you're going to need to make a total of 4 of these eyeballs, okay? We are going to be sewing 2 of these together is our next step. So let's do that. I think this part is pretty easy. I have attached my sewing needle on the end of one of my long eyeballs. You're then going to pick which one is your outside and inside. As you can see, she looks messy, but this side looks great. So we're gonna go with this side and this side. So we're like this. I'm gonna take my needle, I'm gonna go through the other side and pull. And now these are starting to be attached. And I'm simply just going to work all the way around, working in both chains. This can be a little bit annoying. You want it to line up. Pull it through all the way around, okay? And that's a lot of chains, so I'm gonna go into every like second to third chain. You don't have to go into every single one, but obviously the more you sew it up, the sturdier it's gonna be. Some of these chains, man. Hello? So as you can see, we are working along. It is looking like a little pocket right now. And I'm just continuing to finish up the last few chains. And just like that, we now have our eyeball. Obviously, we are going to need to do that with the other one, so I'm gonna go away, and once I have both my eyeballs, we're gonna get right into sewing everything onto the hat. Okay, and now we're going to just attach the eyes. I've gone ahead and done the first one. So step 1 is just placing it where you would like and attaching a yarn needle to the end of the long string. And then I'm just going to take it in. And then you can kind of line it up and see that that is in good place. That looks so perfect. From the inside, I'm going to go up and over through to the other side. And you're basically going to continue to do that until it is sturdy on there. So just down like so, back down. That is looking pretty good to me. So now we turn this inside out with the string being on the inside. I'm going to take my yarn needle through some of the loops close by. It doesn't totally matter where. And then I just create a knot. And now you can take your yarn needle off, and I just like to tie a couple knots from the inside to make sure it is really sturdy. And just like that, we have added our eyes and have created this super cute frog bucket hat.